settle into a comfortable position. And then when you're there, allow your eyes to close or your eye gaze to soften. And feel every single breath that you take. Feel the movement in your body. Feel how deep the breath is moving. Feel the energy that you've got inside you right now. Now keep staying with every single breath. And anytime your mind starts to wander away from this present moment in time, you can always bring it back into your breath. Tonight we're going to have a little play with our creative nature. We all have a great capacity for creativity. And it's a wonderful way to celebrate ourselves through any kind of means that we want to. But hopefully tonight we're going to explore our creativity through the means of movement. Being creative helps us to stimulate our minds. And hopefully there are no limits to what we can create, as long as we just let ourselves get into the flow. And often when we're being creative, it allows us to experience things that we wouldn't normally experience. You might even discover that you've got a talent somewhere that you didn't realise that you had. So there's so many little pockets of joy that your creative nature can bring to you. So this evening, any opportunity, you can choose to do your own thing. If your body wants to move in a particular way, then you're welcome to just go with the flow. So a little mantra for the beginning of the class is, I will bring creativity into my life to create joy and contentment. I will bring creativity into my life to bring me joy and contentment. So slowly bringing some movement back into your body. Do whatever your mind instinctively wants to do right now. And then turn yourself over. We're going to start in a bit of a controversial pose this evening. You may want some cushions to make this more comfortable for yourself. If you've got them available into hand. So we're going to start spreading the knees as wide as possible. Aligning the feet with the knees. Bringing the inner edge of the feet to the floor as if they're flexing. Frog. Someone said hips, so you know. It definitely makes it a lot more bearable to be here if you've got cushions underneath your knees. It really does. You can feel the space that you have between your body and the floor in any which way you wish. You can even choose to bring your chest and your chin down to the floor if you so wish, if it's comfortable. Maybe have a little wriggle of your hips side to side. If it is a little bit too intense for your knees, then you're welcome to bring your feet together to find more of a wide, really wide child's pose. It's always an option you can take. You have a little play around with some pelvic tilts in this position. So tilting the hip bones down towards the floor into lower back arches, and then reversing it the other way and sliding the tailbone down towards the ground to get a little tuck. Maybe you want to have a little play with squeezing the ground with your inner thighs. So you feel that activation through the muscles. Or let's try a twist. So if you want to twist, let's go left hand flat onto the floor. Just lift your chest away. Thread then the right arm underneath. And if the floor feels quite far away, you can always place your head on a block or a cushion. If you're in the twist, gently lift yourself up away from the floor and change sides. Taking the right hand flat to the floor, threading the left arm underneath. You let your hips really melt into the floor. If you're twisting, gently push yourself up away from the floor. And then everyone climb up onto the hands. Bring your feet together. Shift your hips back. And then bring your knees together. Was an involuntary sound there. Do anything that your body needs right now in that movement. Behind that. Maybe just close the legs back up again. And then turn over onto your hands and knees. Breathing into upward cat. Breathing out. Downward cat. Again, just letting yourself be creative. So maybe it feels good better to have a little rotation in the shoulders as you move between flexion and extension. Or maybe it's just nice to have a little wriggle, a little roll. And then bringing yourself into a still position with your back long and straight and parallel to your mat. Squeeze your belly in and then squeeze your armpits in towards each other. Take one knee underneath your chest, circle it around and then come back to where it started. So create a full circle, underneath, circle and around. Try and keep the rest of the body really still, but explore that opening and space that you have in your hips. A little bit of strength from the outer part of the hip. Gently switch directions, lift up, circling around. Belly stays drawn in, push evenly into your arms so you create a really solid base of strength. Swap the legs over. Knee comes underneath, circle around and return. Full circle. Now imagine the femur, so the very top of your thigh bone where it creates the ball, rolling around in the socket. Changing direction when you're ready, lifting the leg as high as you can and then opening it round. So much popping going on from my end. Bring your hands and your shins back to the floor. Inhale, upward cat. Exhale, downward cat and into child's pose. Slide your hands a little bit further on the floor. Press the chest down. Eye gaze to the fingertips. Striking cobra. And then lower your chest all the way down to the floor. Slide your elbows forward so that underneath your shoulders. Find Sphinx with the forearms down or lift into seal with the arms bent but the elbows lifted off the floor. Keep the belly squeezed in. Gently lower the lower part of your ribcage down. Take your arms behind your back and clasp. Roll the shoulder blades back and together to open the chest. Letting go of the hands. Place one hand out to the side. Use the other hand to roll yourself onto that side of the chest. Top leg bends. Find the foot if you can, but you don't have to, for the quad stretch. Rolling back onto the front, switching sides, taking the other arm out so the hand is level with the rib cage, sliding the other hand in to gently roll away from the ground. Top leg bends, hand reaches behind, pull the thigh behind the hip, rolling back onto the front, bringing the hands level with the chest, pushing yourself into cobra or upward dog or any other back bend of your choice. Downward dog. Inhaling into plank. Lower yourself down all the way to the floor. Slide the elbows forwards, lift into Sphinx or seal. Roll the shoulder blades back. Gently lower yourself down. Pull your belly away from the floor so you have control. Slide the hands behind. Squeeze the shoulder blades to lift the chest. Press down through the tops of the feet. Gently release. Take one hand out wide. Use the other hand to push yourself over. Bend the top leg. Reach behind. Find the foot. Squeeze the heel in towards your bum. Keep your belly squeezed in. So many things to think about there, right? Relax the foot, roll back onto the front, change sides, other hand slides out, roll over onto that side, but you're peeling your ribcage away from the floor. Take hold of the top ankle, or just keep the foot to the floor and your hand on the floor. Rolling back onto the front, slide your hands level with the chest. Inhaling, lift into the back bend of your choice. Exhaling into downward dog. Same flow, inhale to plank. Exhale this time, drop down onto your elbows into a forearm plank. Keep the belly squeezed in. Squeeze the armpits towards each other. Gently lower hips and chest to the floor, slide the elbows a little further forwards. Sphinx or seal. Nice. Exploring that inhale, continuing to lift the sternum forwards. Exhale now, slowly roll down towards the floor, sweep the arms behind, clasp the hands. If you want a little extra, lift your feet off the floor this time, but lifting all the way from your thighs so your legs stay straight. Gently lower. One hand slides out and roll over onto that side. Top leg bends. Create extension through the front of the hip. Maybe kick the foot into the hand so you feel active through the front of the thigh. Gently release, rolling back onto your front, switching sides. Remember, make it work for you. Do whatever your body needs. Gently release, rolling back onto your front. Find your back bend. Down dog. And then one more time through, shifting forwards into plank. Holding your plank. Climbing down onto the forearms. Keeping your body really solid as you go so the hips and the shoulders move together. Now press down through the whole of the forearm. Spread the fingertips. Squeeze your thighs from your kneecaps. Hips down, chest down. Sphinx or seal. Melting your body back to the floor, sweep the arms behind. Clasp the hands. Feel the shoulder blades drawing back and together. If you can, squeeze the heel of the hands together. Legs lift if you wish. Keep sliding your tailbone down towards your heels to make it feel better through the front of the hips. Gently release, taking one arm out wide, one arm flat to the floor, rolling over onto the side, feeling the chest and the shoulder expand, top leg bends, find the foot. Is that cramp, Mark? Just see the little cramp dance. Gently release, rolling onto the other side. Feeling that space in the front of the body. Feeling free to listen to whatever your body wants to do in the moment. Gently release, rolling back onto the front, into your back bend, breathing in. Breathing out, downward dog. Then either choose to stay in your downward dog or Drop down onto your forearms and find dolphin. Now you can either have your hands clasped or keep the hands shoulder width apart. Your choice, whatever feels more right for you. Stay there for a minute. I'm just going to take my jumper off. If anyone else is struggling with jumpers, now might be the time to take them off too. Nice. Now think about getting your tailbone up really high. You may want to bend the knees if you find that a struggle to keep your lower back long. Did you just take your jumper off whilst in dolphin? Damn it, I missed a trick there. Now feel free to walk your feet in a little bit closer to your elbows if you wish. Press down really firmly into the floor from the rib cage into the shoulders. Lift your right leg up into a three-legged dolphin. Now that's quite an interesting thought image, isn't it? A three-legged dolphin. Bend the knee at the top, open the hip all the way round. It makes it a lot harder to rotate the torso, which is a good thing. So it means that we isolate the hip movement a little bit more into the hips where it should be. Bring your knee, stay dolphin, but bring your knee underneath your chest as far as it will go. Keep the hips high, and then circle it out, around, and back over into your three-legged, bent-kneed dolphin. Let's do that one more time. Bring the knee underneath the chest. Roll it around, circle it big. Create a little bit more hip extension here. So really squeeze your butt cheek and feel the stretch through the hip of the lifted leg. Gently land the foot back down. Now here, climbing up onto the hands, and then walk the hands back to the feet into forward fold. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Or get there in any other way which works for you. Rolling up to stand on the inhale. Take the arms up overhead. On the exhale, take the weight into your left leg, cross your right ankle over the top of the left knee. Fold your chest forward, reach your arms behind. You're welcome to bring your hands to the floor or to anything else you've got around you if you want a little bit more control. Or a little assistance, rather. Now here, hips stay level. So you may need to pull your left hip bone back a touch, and then just press your right knee down towards the floor. Inhaling, rise. Lift the knee up in front of you, standing really tall. Exhale, land the foot and fold. Walk the hands back out. Come back down into dolphin. And focus on pushing down from the elbow to the wrist. Feel the chest pressing back towards the knees. So when you're ready and you feel stable, take your left leg up for three-legged dolphin. It always seems so funny to say that. Bend the knee, open the hip. Try not to let your right knee start to roll in. So keep using your inner thighs to stabilize that standing knee. Take your knee towards your chest. Keep the hips high in dolphin. Then circle it around all the way to the other side. Each time, just try to get a bit more length in front of the hip. Knee comes underneath, roll it open, circle it. Was there one more? Let's do one more. Knee underneath, circle around. Let the foot like hang over towards the opposite side. Land the foot down to the floor. How are your forearms doing? Climbing up onto the hands and walking back into forward fold. When you're there, relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need. Roll up to stand as you inhale. Take your arms up overhead. Shift the weight into your right leg. Cross the left ankle then over the right knee. When you feel you have steadiness, bend your knee a little bit more on the right side. Shift the hips back, take the arms wherever it feels good to be. If your arms are aching, you might just want to rest your forearms on the bent leg. It's entirely up to you. Now press down through the four corners of your foot. What can you imagine when you're here? You imagine that you're flying. Take a breath in, stand tall, lift your left knee to hip height, although you're welcome to tap it down. Pull up through the right butt cheek and draw it in towards the center of your hips. Land the foot to the floor, knees soften, forward fold. Walk the hands back. This time into downward dog, although if you want to play with dolphin a little bit more, then you're welcome to. Lift the right leg up for three-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hip. This time you're going to bring the leg underneath, place the foot outside your hand and shoulder into lunge. Drop the knee to the floor, relax the back foot. There we go, you've got your lunges. Love a good lunge. So let the hips sink forwards and down. If you want to go a little bit deeper, bring the forearms down towards the floor. Or place a cushion or something there if you're not quite close enough to the ground to relax into it. Let's take 3 more breaths here. At the end of your 3 breaths, if you're on your forearms, climb back up onto the hands. Tuck the toes of the left foot. Lift that knee off the floor. And then pull your hips up and back and find a wide, very wide pyramid pose. So we're gaining that length in the hamstring of the right leg. Squeeze the belly in. Now you can step the back foot in if it feels like it is too wide. And then feel free to adjust your hands higher on the shins if you wish, or on blocks or anything else that's surrounding you. Press down through the inner edge of both of your feet to feel a bit more anchored and stable. Bending now your right knee. Rotate your left foot down so the foot is flat to the floor. Inhaling, windmilling the arms up and coming into a sun warrior. Exhaling, coming back, extended warrior. Elbow to knee if you wish, or hands to ground. Sun warrior on the inhale. This time stay here on the exhale. Inhale, coming back forwards, extended warrior. Rotate your chest. Lift the back heel, find a lunge. A very long, reaching lunge. And then just find as much hip extension in this back leg as you can, so you start to pull the hip bones upwards. Then breathing in, take the arms up, take the chest back. But if you're good in your lower back, so if that's a little bit too much, Keep reaching forwards here. Now take a big push through your right leg. So push down through the heel and the ball of the foot. Step forwards. Left leg lifts. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Bring the chest down. Take the arms behind. Inhaling, stand, lift the right knee, lift the left knee, even start levitating. Take a long step back, bring your hands to the ground, inside the foot, step back into plank and lower. Inhale into your back bend of choice. Exhaling into downward dog. Are the hips feeling open yet? Sweep your left leg up this time for three-legged dog. Bend the knee at the top, open the hip, keep squaring your shoulders to the floor. Step the foot forwards outside your hand. If it doesn't quite get there, pick it up, slide it forwards. Drop the back knee to the floor, relax the back foot. And then we're spending those few breaths here. So if you want to come down onto the forearms, maybe it feels different on this side. Maybe it would feel nice to let the knee fall out and it can roll onto the outer edge of the foot. Listen to where your body wants to flow. What happens if you just let go a little bit more? Where can you soften? Take 3 more breaths. Then if you're on your forearms, climb up onto your hands. Tuck the toes of the right foot, lift the knee off the ground. Pivot the back foot down. Sun warrior. So first think grounding through the legs, push down and out with the feet. Windmill the arms up. The right hand drops down to the longer leg, the left arm up and over. Extended warrior 2, lengthen the side of the body, rest your left arm as high or as low as you wish, time your chest as if you're looking underneath your armpit. Back to sun warrior, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, extended warrior, lengthen all the way down to the outer edge of your right foot, to the tips of your right finger. Turn your hips and lift the heel, come into lunge. Ooh. Long lunge. You know what we missed? Let's go into pyramid. Let's have a nice deep stretching pyramid first. Pull the hips back, draw the belly in. Again, press down through the inner edge of both feet. Bending the left knee, reaching the arms forwards, Getting a hip extension through the right side now. So squeeze that butt cheek tight. Lift the front of your hip bones up. If you need to bend the belly, then that's all good. Listen to what your body wants in this moment. And then take a big, powerful step forwards through the left leg. Lift the right knee up. Cross the ankle over the left knee. Hips back, arms back. Fold over the leg. And 2 more breaths here. Really exploring where you can go. Feel empowered in this position. Inhaling, lift to stand tall. Take the right knee towards the hip height. Take a long step back, landing the leg into lunge. Hands land inside the left foot. Step back to plank. Knees or toes lower towards the floor. Inhale into your back bend. Exhaling into child's pose. And you're welcome to have a little wriggle around with the hips again. Maybe try sliding your right arm a little bit further forwards than your left. So we get a deeper sensation underneath that armpit and that side of the chest. And then gently switching sides. Left arm slides forwards a little bit more, right arm slides a little bit back. And bringing your chest and your shoulders square to the floor. We've got one more thing to play with. Do you want to take a look first of all? So you may want to stop at some point of this. And you can choose where you want to go or how you want to play it. So beginning down the dog, you're taking one leg up, bending the knee, open the hip. You're going to tip that foot all the way down to the floor for wild thing. Then if you want to go further, you pivot the bottom hand round and come into wheel. And then as you turn back over, you pivot the hand again. You don't have to do all of that. I like how some of you are already going. Or you can play around in dolphin and come into more of a side plank version of wild thing. So, however you want to do that. But if you haven't already started into downward dog, and then right leg is going to lift for 3-legged dog. Reach it as far as you can. When you're at the top, bend the knee, open the hip. And then as you start to tip that foot towards the floor on the opposite side, your right hand is going to lift off the floor. Land the foot with control, lift the heel of the right foot, stretch the left leg out, squeeze the bum to push the hips up. Amazing. If you don't want to flip your dog, that's okay. You can always stay in 3-legged dog. Or you can place in, hey, there's a wheel going on. Love it. If you want to wheel at any point, as you turn your chest and your hips up to the ceiling more, the hand that's on the floor, you have to externally rotate it round. So so your shoulder rolls outwards, and that enables you to pivot the hands to get your fingertips pointing towards your feet. Without that pivot, you kind of get stuck. If you haven't already done the other side, do the left side. If you're doing the dolphin option, keep pushing down from the forearm, from the side of the rib cage the whole time that you're moving. Yeah, that was so close then. Love it. And the good thing about wild thing is you can just let yourself go wherever feels amazing. There's no rules about it. There's no right, there's no wrong. Amazing. And then whenever you're done, into child's pose. There's no rush, it's just a play. Amazing work, everyone. So rolling over onto your back. Crossing or lifting your right leg even, and then cross the right leg over towards the opposite side, but without letting the hips roll off the floor. So the left leg can be bent, and you roll that towards the right side so the inner thighs are almost squeezing together. If you want something a little deeper than this, pick up the bottom leg as well and pull the bottom leg towards the right side as you pull. Yeah, just trying to say that again. You pull the left leg towards the right side as the right leg pulls towards the left side. It's almost like you're trying to pull that tie shoelace or pull a bow. And gently release. Swap the legs the other way around. So either with the right foot on the floor, take hold of the outer edge of the left leg, roll the whole thigh in. So it's almost like trying to bring the knee towards or crossing the opposite side. Feel that travel around the outer part of the hip. If you wish to, then you can pick up the right leg. We find both of the shins and we pull both legs towards the opposite side. Gently release. Place the feet flat to the floor. Take the feet hip distance apart. Squeeze the bum, lift the hips up and find bridge pose. So choices here. You can lift the heels of your feet and give yourself enough space to support the hips with your hands if you wish, or forearms down onto the floor. Clasp the hands here and climb up onto the shoulders. Slide the sternum towards the chin. And almost push down through the heels towards the toes, as if you're trying to push the legs away from you. Notice the strength in the back of the body and the space through the front of the body. If you then wish to go into wheel from here, take the hands just above the shoulders, fingertips point towards the toes. Then pushing through the whole of the hand, taking the eye gaze then over towards the wrists. Trying to push the ground away from the sides of the ribs. And then if you want to play again, you can try lifting one foot up and down at a time. You can even do that in your bridge. Again, you don't have to pick all of the options. You can just go with whatever your brain wants to do right now. Amazing work. Whenever you're ready to land, tuck your chin towards your chest. Roll down through the upper part of your spine safely until you can rest the whole of your back onto the floor. If you're in wheel, if you're in the bridge, you roll down from the bottom of your spine. Gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Happy baby pose. Sliding the inner thighs wide. Holding on to the feet, or the calves, or the thighs. The most important thing is to keep your back long. So don't force yourself into a position where it feels like you're lifting your bum and pressing your lower back down into the ground. If you want to play again, you can always straighten your legs out and get a deeper stretch through the inner thigh. And gently placing the feet together, lowering them down towards the floor, letting the knees open wide, arms overhead, gently grasping the opposite elbow and forearm. Just let yourself be comfortable here. So if it's stressing your lower back, outside your feet further away from the hips. Allowing the eyes to close or the eye gaze to soften. Following every breath. Imagining where every breath is going on its journey. And feeling the inhalation lifting into the belly, then wide into the ribcage. And then feeling the belly fall and the ribcage relaxes back to its natural position. Let it feel like a rolling wave through your body. Maybe it feels like the wind through the forest of really leafy trees. If you want to move into a more comfortable position at any point, then you're welcome to. How can you let your mind take you right now? You have full creative control. Taking a final deep breath in, and on the breath out, acknowledge your creativity. And slowly bring movement back into your body. Doing whatever it needs to reawaken. And then in your own time, in your own way, bring yourself back up to seated.